Kids. All righty, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us for this presentation with IIT. I just want to go through a few housekeeping before I let them start with their presentation as you're joining us. First off, how do you ask questions? The presenters cannot see you or hear you because this is a webinar style, so please use the chat box. They will be answering questions that way. And then this recording will be available after their session and we can send it out to you guys. And then lastly, continue to join these sessions to continue to learn more about colleges, and we hope that this helps you during your college process.
Awesome, thank you. Let me just share my screen and we can jump right into it. So hi everyone, welcome to Illinois Institute of Technology's presentation, just so you kind of know who you're chatting with today. My name's Kaylin and I am a counselor for students in parts of Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin. I also am the dual programs coordinator, so if you're interested in any of our pre-pharmacy, pre-optometry, pre-medicine tracks, which we'll talk about later in the presentation, I'm your go-to person. So that's my email and my phone number listed down there. And then Diana's going to introduce herself as well.
Hi everyone, my name is Diana. I'm a first year admission counselor, so I handle a lot of first year students if you're in high school. My territories include most of the East Coast, Texas, Florida, and part of Illinois as well. I'm also the robotics coordinator, so if you are part of FIRST or VEX Robotics, we do have a special scholarship for that. We can talk about that in the presentation, and feel free to reach out to me through my email address and my phone number listed there.
Awesome. And I just realized there's a typo. It's 312 for my phone number over there. Same thing as Diana's, just the last 4 digits are different. And then throughout this presentation, feel free to start throwing your questions in the chat box. Diana may start answering some of those, but we'll definitely address all of them at the end of the presentation. So let's just get started. So who are Illinois Tech students? So some of the things that we would consider our Illinois Tech students are innovators, entrepreneurs, interdisciplinary thinkers, hands-on learners. They're active learners. Sometimes our students are called nerdy chic. So if any of these words kind of resonate with who you are or the type of learning environment you're looking for, then you're looking at a great school. Now kind of where we're located. So if you're not familiar with where Illinois Tech's located, we are in Chicago, Illinois. We're right across from the White Sox Stadium. For those of you that know your streets in Chicago, we're on 35th and State. Our campus is roughly 3 blocks by 4 blocks or 125 acres. So we are a smaller campus if that's the environment that you're looking for. We are about 3 miles from the Loop or downtown Chicago. So it takes students about 10 to 15 minutes to get downtown when they're using the CTA. One of the really great things about attending a university in Chicago is that for Illinois Tech students, they get the U-Pass. So you're able to use the trains or buses or the CTA for free and unlimited rides during the school year. So if you haven't had the opportunity to explore Chicago, this is one really great way to do that while you're an Illinois Tech student. We are a residential campus with 70% of our students living on campus. And then kind of the neighborhoods that we're tucked between, we're next to historic Bronzeville, which is known for its jazz, and then Bridgeport, which is actually an up and coming neighborhood to live in. There's actually this really great pizza place not too far from campus that us admission counselors like to check out. It's the Red Line Cafe. There's tons of really cool places to eat around campus and explore, and we're really not that far from Lake Michigan, so students do head out there and enjoy the lakeshore walk and everything like that. So we're in a pretty cool location, and you get all the amenities of being in the city while being on a small campus. Now just some numbers. So I mentioned that we were a small university. So we are 3,000 undergraduate students with 3,500 graduate and law students. About 25% of our entering fall class is transfer students. But what's really important for you guys to know is that our student to faculty ratio is 12 to 1. So what that translates for classroom size is that our average class is about 22 students. We do have some lecture halls. In pre-COVID, the largest amount of students that could be in a room is 100. And our class sizes typically range within that 25 to 35. Some of our entry-level courses, for example, all of our engineering students need to take Calculus 1, so those will be larger size classrooms. But once you get into your major content, you see those class sizes shrink down. You can have a class as small as 5 students for some of these. So it's a really great way to connect with your professors. You get that one-on-one connection because it is a smaller environment. You get to know your peers a little bit better. So that's just a little bit about kind of our small environment here at Illinois Tech. All 50 states are represented. Yes, we have students from warm, sunny Hawaii coming to Chicago. About 17% of our undergraduates are international, with about 40% at the graduate level. And then our retention rate, and if you're not familiar with retention rate, that means the amount of our first year students matriculating or staying with Illinois Tech to their second year is at 88%. So it's really awesome to see that once our students get on campus, they realize that all the opportunities we provide for Illinois Tech students will really set them up for success. And then I'm going to turn it over to Diana to talk about our academic programs.
Awesome. Thank you, Kaylin. So here are all of our colleges as well as our academic programs. We are the only STEM-focused institution in Chicago. We're a STEM-focused institution, so we thrive in engineering majors, computer-related majors, as well as all of the sciences. But we also have non-STEM majors such as architecture, business, and other social majors such as humanities and communications. We have over 40 undergraduate majors, also over 50 minors, ranging from like artificial intelligence all the way to music. We do have a partnership with Vandercook College of Music on our campus. So if you wanted to take some music courses, then you definitely can explore your creativity side. We also have special programs like pre-med, pre-pharmacy, pre-optometry, and pre-law. We are partnered with 3 professional schools in Chicago, Midwestern College of Medicine, Lake Erie College of Medicine, as well as Chicago Kent College of Law. We have those dual admission programs, and we'll talk a little bit about those in later slides. All right, so first and foremost is our Armour College of Engineering. As you can see, we do have a variety of engineering majors. If you aren't really sure which engineering major you want to choose, but you do know that you want to go somewhere related to engineering, then you can definitely go into our Armour College of Engineering as undecided Armour, so that you can kind of figure out your engineering path at a later time. Our engineering college is ABET accredited. So what that stands for is Accreditation Board for Engineering and Technology. This board reviews all of our classes annually to ensure that we are upkeeping the quality of classes that we're giving to our students. Other things about our engineering college is that we have 4 themes, which are water, health, energy, and security. So most of the projects you will work on revolve around one of these 4 themes, as they are very big in the professional engineering world. We are very interdisciplinary in nature, so you'll be able to get involved in research and projects as soon as your first semester here. Our College of Architecture, we do offer a professional bachelor's degree, and this will be 5 years. So after you graduate with this professional bachelor's degree, you will actually be able to get the credentials to test for your licensure without any additional study. So you don't need to get your master's degree if you don't want to, and you'll still be able to get your licensure. However, if you do really want that to master's, then you can stay for an extra year. So it'll be 6 years in total. We are NAAB accredited. So what that stands for is National Architectural Accrediting Board. Very similar to the ABET accreditation, just reviewing our classes annually to ensuring the quality. And we are very studio-based, so you'll be taking a studio course every single semester. Next is our College of Computing. This is our newest department, which incorporates all of our old computer-related majors. I say old, but we do have some new majors in our College of Computing, such as our cybersecurity programs, also our artificial intelligence major, which is actually Midwest's only Bachelor of Science in artificial intelligence, fun fact. So these majors are great, especially if you have a passion for the world of computers. Other colleges, we have our Lewis College of Sciences and Letters. This department has all of our science-related majors. This is a great fit if you want to follow the pre-med route, if you wanted to go into that, but also good if you wanted to, or if you are interested in like soft sciences such as psychology, humanities, communications. We have a wonderful digital humanities major if you are interested in like game design. So a lot of different options for you. And then last but not least, we have our Stewart School of Business. We offer a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. Like I said, we are a STEM-focused institution, so we offer a science bachelor program. Basically what this means, it's giving you a unique opportunity here at Illinois Tech by focusing your degree towards a STEM-related field. You'll be able to understand a lot of mechanical engineering majors, understanding a lot of computer science related majors, so that if you are going into the business world, you'll be able to understand tech language and have that under your belt. Really gives you the upper hand when you're a candidate, when you're interviewing for a job. One more thing about our academic programs. This is a very unique opportunity that I really like to explain to our students, because I wish I had this opportunity for myself. Basically, it's the accelerated master's degree. It allows our students to pursue both their bachelor's and their master's degree in as few as 5 years. We also allow our students to continue applying their institutional scholarships into that 5th year. So you're not necessarily paying a graduate rate in any of the years. Now, this is especially important because I know that graduate programs can be very expensive. But if you are considered an undergraduate that 5th year, then you can file for FAFSA, continue those financial aids, as well as continue your undergraduate scholarships. You don't have to decide this until your sophomore year of college, so you still have a little bit of time before you figure out if you want to pursue your master's degree. And then I just wanted to talk a little bit about the hallmarks of our education. The first hallmark I like to point out is our Introduction to the Profession, or the acronym is ITP. This is taken your first semester, your freshman year, and it gives you different exposures to different research as well as career opportunities within your specific field. So for example, if you were interested in mechanical engineering, you'll be taking an ITP to mechanical engineering. And this course basically helps you solidify whether or not you want to be in that major for the rest of your college career. Really great if you're kind of undecided for now, but want to kind of explore a specific field. Other hallmarks include the Idea Shop. This is our state-of-the-art prototyping lab space, also a collaborative teaming area. Basically, our Idea Shop is where creativity comes to life. There are different machineries in there, such as 3D printers, vacuum formers, wood cutters, anything you can think of. There are also student workers in there to help you figure out the machinery, so you're not having to figure it out yourself necessarily. If you're wondering who that man is on the screen above the Idea Shop, his name is Dane Christensen. He actually created what's called an X cube, if you want to zoom in or anything, but it's basically like an advanced version of a Rubik's Cube. He was able to create this toy thing at our Idea Shop, and now he's able to sell it at our bookstore, at Barnes & Noble, as well as his own toy store, which I thought was really cool. Elevate, this is an umbrella organization that helps connect our students to different out-of-classroom experiences. So studying abroad, research, internships, co-ops, you name it. If you wanted to get any of those out-of-state experiences, you can definitely connect with our Elevate organization so that they can help find some experiences for you. I was looking on their site actually, and we are offering a grand tour of Italy for architecture students for next year, I believe. So I thought that was a really cool example of what we offer to our students. And then last but not least is our iPro project. What that stands for is Interdisciplinary Professional Projects Program. What this course does is taken a little bit later on in your coursework. Sorry. And basically it's an interdisciplinary course. You'll be put into a group with different majors. So if you're an engineering major, you'll be put into a group with an architecture major and a computer related major. And all of you guys will work together to create a project to tackle a real life problem. Some of the examples I like to give out is one of the projects was developed in order to provide assistive technology for stroke victims, as well as creating CTA turnstiles to improve accessibility for individuals who are handicapped, and then also a home run tracking system for the White Sox stadium. So once the batter hits it, it tracks how far and how fast the ball goes. And then also the averages of where it would land in a parking lot. So there is no baseball and windshield kind of situation. I just think it's really cool that our students were able to find these problems and create projects for these problems. At the end of an iPro project, you'll be able to present it at an iPro day. This is where you get to boast about your project to your cohort, your faculty members, and yeah, it's a great project for our students.
Awesome. And then I'm going to jump into campus life. So we do have over 150 student organizations, and these range from culturally based, religiously based, musically inclined or art-based. So some examples that I can give you is like we have a Quidditch group on our campus. If you're a Harry Potter fan, we have an esports group, we have an acapella group, a theater group, we have Engineers Without Borders, an artificial intelligence organization, a student governing association. So most likely when you're attending Illinois Tech, there'll be an organization that you're interested in and you can join. We also have fraternity and sorority life if you're looking for the Greek experience or the Greek life experience. But if there's not an organization that you're interested in on our campus, you can start a new organization as well, which is why we always say we have 150 plus, because we see new organizations popping up on campus all the time. We are a Division III university with 17 athletic teams. And the next slide, I'll show you which groups we have on campus. And then the last thing on this is that, you know, we are a small campus, but we have tons of events going on, you know, 664 plus events each year. You hear the stigma, you know, when you attend a smaller school that there's not a lot to do. That's definitely not the case, especially with Illinois Tech. There's tons of things going on campus. Even now in the COVID world, we're moving to a virtual format, so we continue to have events available for our students. But what's also a plus is that you're living in Chicago. So if there's something going on campus that maybe you're not interested in, you can always go explore downtown. There are tons of events going on in Chicago. So really you have the best of both worlds when you're looking at attending Illinois Tech. And like I mentioned, so these are all of our men's and women's teams. So if you are interested in being an athlete, we highly recommend checking out this website and getting in contact with our coaches as soon as possible. If you're not able to find our coaching information, feel free to reach out to one of us admission counselors. We're happy to provide that information for you. The one thing that I always like to talk about is, you know, we are a Division III university, so we take a little bit of a different approach with our athletic programs. You know, our coaches understand that at the end of the day, you're here to get your degree. So they make sure that practices are always scheduled before or after classes are available. So that way you never have to pick between attending class or attending practice. You know, our coaches, of course, want you to be a stellar athlete, whether it's in the pool, the field, or the court, but they also want you to be a stellar academic student in your classes. So they also have assistance with providing tutoring services and making sure that you're doing well in both areas. So you never feel like you have to pick one over the other if you're considering to be a college athlete. And then our residence options. So as I mentioned earlier, 70% of our students live on campus. For your first 2 years, you will be living on our campus, and you have 3 dorming options to pick from. So Row Village, which is up top, what used to be known as State Street Village. It's also known as one of the coolest dorms in the nation. This is one option for students. It is suite style, which means that you have a double, so you and a roommate adjoin to a bathroom to another double. So that's one living experience that you can have here at Illinois Tech. Your second dorming option is Kasich Hall. So Kasich Hall used to be one of our older buildings that we completely gutted and is brand new for fall 2020. This provides pod style. It's also a high-rise building. So the higher up you get an awesome view of the city skyline as well as Lake Michigan. So, and this offers triples, doubles, and singles. This building is also only for our first year and second year students. So you're working with students that are kind of brand new to Illinois Tech, which is really nice. And then McCormick Student Village is our last dorming option. It's more your traditional communal style living where you have a roommate and then you share the bathroom with the floor. It is one of our older dorms. So that's just kind of a quick rundown of our residence life. We do have some YouTube videos up that give a quick dorm or a tour of a dorm as well as one of the buildings, and we're working to add more as well so that way you can have access to that. We do virtual tours as well, so you can kind of get an idea of where some of our dorms are, but definitely check out our YouTube page if you're interested in seeing what a dorm typically looks like. And then I'm going to give it back to Diana for admission.
All right, thank you. Now I know that was a lot of information, so if you want to, or if you have any questions, feel free to use that Q&A option so that I can get to them. But yeah, we will get into the meatier part of this presentation, which is admission, financial overview, and let's get started. All right, so admission requirements. This is what we need from you if you are a first-year applicant. What we need from you, we definitely need your high school transcripts as updated as possible from your high school counselor, one letter of recommendation. You can submit up to 3 if you would like, but we only require 1. We typically recommend our students getting it from either their counselor or their any high school teacher, anyone who can speak on your work ethic. Test optional, so keep this in mind. For ACT or SAT scores, this is optional for the spring 2021 as well as the fall 2021. So if you have those scores, but they're not within these range, you don't have to send them in. But if you don't have those scores, then you don't have to send them in either. Here's kind of the middle 50% of our admitted freshman body. So middle 50% of them are in the top 10% of their graduating class. So we do have a lot of academically driven students coming to our university. Middle 50% of them are earning a weighted GPA of around 4.0 to 4.36. If your school doesn't weight your GPA, no worries there. We will actually add those weights for you. So what I mean by that is any AP courses, honors courses, if you are taking any of those, we understand that it's a little bit more difficult than regular courses, so we'll just boost your GPA a little bit. ACT and SAT score ranges are listed there. Like I said, we are test optional, so if you wanted to or if you don't want to, that is completely okay, as long as you complete your application through Common App with your transcripts and your recommendations. For transfer applicants, if you are interested in doing the transfer process, if you're interested in going to a community college or exploring another university, we hope that we can still be an option for you. And that is why we do have a very smooth transfer process and transfer application. What we need from you, we basically need all your high school transcripts as well as a personal statement. The letter of recommendation is optional for transfer students. And here are your recommended coursework listed on the left or the right hand side. Calculus 1, we definitely recommend you having at least calculus for your transfer transcript, just so we can see if you have the support for succeeding at our university. If you have less than 30 credit hours, then we do require high school transcripts as well as your ACT or SAT scores, so we have a little bit more support for your application. Fast forward, this is a program specifically for our transfer students. This is a free program that helps connect you to our transfer counselors. So if you wanted some admission advice from our transfer counselors, then you can apply to be a part of this program. You'll be able to get in contact with them. They could sit down with you and talk about your next few courses at your community college, for example. You are also getting invited to some of our special events at Illinois Tech. So any of our on-campus events, once we have on-campus events, or any of our virtual events, then you can get invited so that you can kind of get a feel of our campus. And yeah, so this is a great program if you're considering transferring. And I believe Kaylin will be talking a little bit about our admission deadlines as well as some of our scholarship opportunities.
Yeah, so for Illinois Tech, we are rolling admissions. So we do commonly get the question of what's our early action deadline. So really students have until August 1st of 2020 if they're living in the United States to apply. Or I'm sorry, August 1st of 2021. If you're an international student living outside the US, then you have until May 15th of 2021 to apply. The really important thing that we like to highlight is for our domestic students, we do have a priority scholarship deadline. So this is for our first year students, meaning that you're transitioning from high school to college. You haven't taken any college or you haven't been enrolled in a university. So for our high school domestic students, November 15th is the deadline that you want to get your application in. This means that you're automatically considered for Camrose, which is a full tuition scholarship. And then you also have the opportunity to submit a supplemental application for Crown, Duchossois, and Leadership Academy. These are also full tuition scholarships, and Duchossois is actually a full tuition and room and board scholarship. So it's super important that you start your application now. Our application is live, so you can start that and then just make sure that it's completed by November 15th. As Diana mentioned, we are test optional. In the Common App, it'll ask you if you plan on submitting your test scores or if you'd like us to review your application without test scores. So just make sure you make that clear distinction so we know when to start processing your application. And then dual admission. So as I mentioned before, I'm the dual programs coordinator, so my contact information is listed there again. With our dual admission programs, this means that you're guaranteed admission to our partner university, depending on which program you're applying to. So these are all the programs that we offer currently, and then as well as what university we're partnered with. And then this gives you a timeline, meaning, for example, if it's a 4+4, you spend 4 years at Illinois Tech and then 4 years at Midwestern University for this one specifically. The deadlines are also really important to make sure that you're you're aware of, these deadlines are very strict. There's no wiggle room, so you need to make sure that your application, which means your common application, is submitted to Illinois Tech, as well as the supplemental application for these. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. We have some videos located on our dual programs website, which I can send you the link to that if you're having a difficulty finding those. They give you a lot of really helpful information, but I'm always happy to answer more questions in depth. College costs. So we always get the question of, well, what does it cost to attend Illinois Tech? So we are a private university. Our tuition, room, and board and fees for students that entered for fall 2020 totaled $65,818. I know, sticker price is alarming, but the important thing to remember is that we automatically consider all of our students for a merit-based scholarship, and I'll talk more about what those look like later on in this presentation. 98% of our students do receive some form of financial aid ranging from $10,000 to full tuition, so we do try to make this as affordable as possible. If you have any concerns throughout this, after you apply and after you submit the FAFSA, which is really important, that opens up October 1st, we can talk about your aid offer and discuss other ways of helping you finance your time here. I do recommend checking out the net price calculator. That gives students a pretty good estimate of what it's going to look like to attend Illinois Tech. I've talked to some current students, so it's obviously not right down to the dime, but it gives you a general idea of what it's going to look like. This table over here, I always tell families to take with a grain of salt. Based on what your family's adjusted gross income is, this is the average scholarships and grant. This information is important to remember that this is also including FAFSA information, which is where you would get grant aid. So this is also based on families submitting the FAFSA. And then for Illinois Tech specifically, we like to talk about our career outcomes, which I think also helps when you're looking at the cost of attending. So these are just some quick facts. So the career outcomes information is based on self-reported data of our graduate students, and this is based off of our fall 2019 graduating students. So 88% of our students that graduated in fall 2019 were at their first destination pick, which was either employed full-time or continuing education or seeking higher education. So this is just a breakdown of kind of what those numbers really look like. I always like showing what our top employers are. I think that's really awesome to be able to see what companies our students are working for. So we are at some really big companies like ComEd, Google, Motorola Solutions, Microsoft, the Boeing. We have some students at SpaceX as well. So it's really cool to kind of see where our students are going. Some notable alumni, the head scientist for Alexa came from Illinois Tech. Also the inventor of the first cell phone, Marty Cooper, was an Illinois Tech alum. And also Susan Solomon, who discovered the ozone layer was depleting. She was an Illinois Tech alum as well. So we see some really cool students graduating from Illinois Tech and going and making some really positive changes on the world. So definitely take that into account when you're looking at Illinois Tech. And then, everyone wants to know kind of what your starting salary is going to look like. So this is based off of all of our majors. This is the, the median range of their starting salary. What's really cool is that you can also just type in IIT career outcomes in Google. And then when you get to this page, you can actually select your specific major that you're interested in. You can also filter it to say, how does the data change by adding in an internship or without an internship? And some other data points that we talk about is where are our students located? Are they staying in Illinois? Are they going outside Illinois? Of course, it'll list the top employers for that specific program. It'll list where they're going for graduate school and how many and what they're pursuing. So it's a lot of really cool data to check out. I highly recommend taking the time to look at it, just so you have a better idea of what it means to be an Illinois Tech student as well. And then first year scholarships. So I touched on this briefly, but like I said before, students are automatically considered for a merit-based scholarship. So if you are a domestic student, you're considered for the Henry T. Heald Scholarship, which ranges from about $10,000 to $30,000 per year. What's really important to know is that if you apply by November 15th, the minimum amount of a merit scholarship we're providing is $25,000. So of course you can be considered for a higher amount, but the smallest amount you're going to see if you submit your application by November 15th is $25,000. For our international students, you're considered for the International Merit Scholarship. You also have the chance for $25,000, which will be a total amount. It could be partially tuition-based scholarship and a housing-based scholarship, but you also have the chance for a $25,000 total scholarship here at Illinois Tech if you apply by November 15th. Something that you're also considered for is Elevate, which Diana talked about earlier. Elevate, this is a stipend that goes towards those experiences. So you can use this $5,000 to fund your study abroad, or if you need to stay on campus so that way you can complete research over the summer, you have some flexibility with how you use these funds. They just can't be applied to tuition fees or room and board. And then I already mentioned cameras that you need to apply by November 15th to be considered for this full tuition. There's no separate application for this one. For Collins, this is for students that are attending Chicago public schools or Chicago charter schools. This is a full tuition and fees. So you need to have your common application submitted and your FAFSA information in by January 15th. So it's really important that you have those two components in by that deadline to be considered for this one. And then our additional scholarships. So these are the ones where an additional application is needed. So Crown Scholarship is specifically for architecture students. That's a full tuition scholarship. Leadership Academy is also full tuition. That's open to all of our majors. Duchossois open to all of our majors and is that full tuition and room and board. We also have an esports scholarship this year. That's $5,000 per year. When you're completing the Common App, there'll be some questions about the esports, but there's also an additional application on our website you'll need to submit. And then as Diana mentioned earlier, she's a robotics coordinator. So we do have a FIRST Robotics and VEX Robotics scholarship that's at $25,000 per year for students that apply and submit this application by January 15th. If you have questions about the application process, make sure you reach out to Diana. She's happy to answer those questions. And then Chicago Police and Fire. So if you had a parent or grandparent that was a paramedic, firefighter, or police officer, you do qualify for a $20,000 per year scholarship. You need to have the separate application submitted by the time that you submit your application. And then for our international students, if you were involved in World Robotics, there's a $25,000 per year scholarship available for you as well. And then this is just some more information about that Collins Scholarship. So for those of you in Chicago public schools or Chicago charter schools, if you want to take a screenshot of this, these are some other requirements that you need to meet in order to be considered for this. And again, that's a full tuition and fees, which is renewable annually for our students. And then some transfer scholarships. So if you decide to go to a community college or attend a different four-year university and now you're looking at Illinois Tech, so these are some of the scholarships that you can be aware of. Transfer scholarships also, or transfer students, if you also apply by November 15th, the minimum amount of a scholarship we are providing is that $25,000 per year. This is offered, merit scholarships are considered to all of our students. There are some other scholarships to be aware of, the Presidential Scholarship, Phi Theta Kappa Scholarship, Chicago Police and Fire Department Scholarship, and things like that. If you are a transfer student and you also apply for the Phi Theta Kappa, just know that your merit scholarship would be $20,000, and then you would, if you are able to get the Phi Theta, you would get the $5,000, so it's a total of $25,000 by November 15th if you apply by then. And then I'm turning it back to Diana.
All right, last few slides. Last thing to note, if you are applying for anything above fall 2021, so if you're a junior, sophomore, or freshman, we do have pre-college programs at Illinois Tech. So you can definitely look at our website to see all of our different courses. We have computing, psychology, engineering, biology, and many more. Some of our courses or some of our programs actually count for college credit. So that's a fun little fact. You can definitely get some college credit out of the way. Also, some of the courses look really good on your resume or on your college application. So if you wanted to go to a pre-college program, then we have that here. One thing to note, you don't have to commit to Illinois Tech if you're doing any of our programs. So if you want to come to Illinois Tech just for our programs, that is completely fine. And then you can go into another university, and then hopefully our pre-college programs will boost your college application there. And then, like I said, or like this was shown previously, here's our contact information. So definitely feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions after this presentation. And we'll just leave a little bit of room after this presentation right now for just some questions and answers if you guys have any. We did have one question coming in, but I believe we covered it, just about the average cost per year per student. So we definitely covered that already. So definitely feel free to leave a few more questions for us in the question and answer section. And thank you everyone for coming to our presentation today.
I know we threw a lot of information at you guys, so if you want us to reiterate anything, let us know. I know I personally am a fast talker, so I tend to go through things pretty quickly. So if you want me to repeat anything, definitely can. But this is the time for you guys to ask any questions that you have about anything that we talked about today.
Yeah, definitely. And also, I believe this presentation is being recorded, so if you wanted to review it at any time on the IACAC website, then you definitely can. And yeah. All right, so we do have a question coming in. What is the female to male ratio on campus? Great question. Correct me if I'm wrong, Kaylin, but I believe it is 40 female and 60 male.
Yes, or very close to that. So it may be like 38, but it's right around that 40 to 60 ratio. Mm-hmm.
Awesome, thank you.
That's a really great question. And a lot of STEM schools, it's closer to 20% female, 80% male. So we're really proud of the fact that it's 40% female, 60% male.
Definitely. We do also have a lot of student organizations that are focused towards promoting women in STEM majors.
Mm-hmm.
So if you wanted to get more comfortable being at a STEM school and be proud of it, then you can definitely join those organizations where you meet fellow females or women in the STEM field at our university.
Any other? There are no silly questions to ask an admission counselor. Trust me. There's tons of colleges to look at and consider, and it's definitely hard sometimes to keep track of who's doing what. And it's always helpful to ask lots of questions, so that way when you're, if you're looking at Illinois Tech and we check all your boxes, then to keep us on the list. And if, there's certain areas that we don't meet, then at least that's one less college that you need to look at. And all of us counselors here at Illinois Tech, we want to make sure that you make the right decision at the end of the day. So we're happy to have these conversations about like what majors work for you. Is Illinois Tech really your best fit? What other pathways should you be considering? Should you go the community college route and then transfer to us at a later date? So we're always happy to have those conversations with you guys.
Yeah, definitely. So I don't see any other questions coming in, but do you want to just maybe ask a few questions, some common questions that you hear from students? You could do that. Oh, we do actually have a question coming in. Sorry. But what are the more competitive majors? If you want to jump in on those, Kaylin.
Yeah, so that's a really great question. So, we're a STEM school, so our programs are academically rigorous across the board. I would definitely say some of our more challenging programs to be admitted into is when you're looking at our biomedical engineering. There are 3 tracks, but when you're in the Common App, you just apply for biomedical engineering. But just so you guys know, there's a cell and tissue engineering, medical imaging engineering, and then neural engineering track that you can select once you're admitted to the university and working with your academic advisor. But biomedical engineering tends to be a more challenging program to be admitted into. Our aerospace engineering program, our computer science program, as well as our artificial intelligence, that has a lot of math components. So you go above differential equations. So we want to make sure that students have a really strong background in math and that they do well in those courses. So I would say those are the top ones that I think of. Am I missing any, Diana?
I would say just in general, like engineering and computer related majors are definitely our more competitive majors. We see a lot of applicants for those majors specifically because we are accredited and we are a great school for those STEM related majors. So I would say those are more competitive majors.
Mm-hmm.
And then no other questions coming in, but I do have a question for you, Kaylin. Which student organizations stand out to you at our university?
Yeah, so I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, which is why I always like to talk about Quidditch. I think it's the coolest thing ever, and I wish the school that I attended had Quidditch. But back when we're in the office, they actually practice in like the field right across from us. So on a side note, like Illinois Tech is a very green campus, especially when you're looking like in the city. We have tons of green spaces. We have a Frisbee golf course on our campus. So you kind of forget that you're in the city for a second because of how green it is. But there's this really big kind of open area where they practice and they put the hoops up and everything, which I just think is so fun. That's probably the one that I just always like talking about, the Quidditch group on our campus. Diana, what's one of the ones that you usually like chatting about?
Yeah, definitely. So from our student workers at our admissions office, I hear a lot of great things of our acapella group. Out of anything.
Yeah.
If anyone here has watched Pitch Perfect, then you can kind of see kind of that community. Obviously a lot less drama, but I think that our acapella group is doing really great things. They're competing regionally, maybe potentially nationally after a few more years. But I know they're very established, and if you wanted to kind of express your creative side, then you can definitely do so with some of our music-related organizations.
Yeah, definitely. We also have a global languages organization, so we don't offer any foreign language classes on our campus. This is one way to kind of continue to develop your skills. We do see a lot of students that have taken foreign language courses as a high school student and are looking to kind of continue that in college. So we do have that organization, which I talk to students quite a bit about. They usually have some questions about that one. That's another really cool one too.
Yeah, that actually brings up or reminds me of like our cultural clubs as well as our religious clubs. So if you are very passionate about religion, culture, anything that's important to you, then you can definitely have that interest at Illinois Tech and find other students that have that interest.
Mm-hmm. We also have Prism, right? Prism, it's our LGBTQ plus organization on campus, and they had someone from Queer Eye, and I always blank. What was his?
Oh, yeah.
He was a guest speaker last spring? No, not last spring, last fall. I can't remember who it was, but
I think it was Tan France.
Yes, he came on our campus. He was a guest speaker, and then we also had someone from Orange is the New Black. I can't remember.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think that was in the summer. Oh, I don't remember. Or that was actually before both of us probably started. But we also have that organization on our campus. So there's tons of ways to get involved and find your group, definitely. We do have a larger population of international students, so we do have some international-based organizations for students to kind of feel home away from home when you're in Chicago, to connect with other students from the same area that they're from. So it's really cool to see just all the different organizations available and ways to stay involved. We had a career fair event today. It was virtual, obviously. And what was really cool is that our current students had 5 minutes to talk with either alumni or people that worked at the university, and we asked them like commonly asked questions you get at a career fair, and then we were able to give them feedback. And the students really enjoyed the experience. I know, myself personally and other alumni really enjoyed getting to connect with those students, so it's a cool way of like networking, also getting those students to practice those questions, especially in a virtual format, because you never know if you'll have to continue to do interviews in a virtual format. So it was really cool that our career services are still making sure that our students are getting connected with industries in the area and getting connected with companies in the area, making sure that they're practicing interview skills and things like that, even while we're totally virtual.
Yeah, definitely.
Any other questions, or are we just kind of talking your ears off?
Well, like we said, if you do have any future questions and you can't think of them right now, but it pops into your head maybe after this presentation, then here's our email addresses. Here are our email addresses. So you can definitely just reach out to us if you have any of those questions, or if you just need some support from us. We're definitely happy to help support you in any way throughout your admissions process.
Definitely.
Okay, so thank you so much for joining us. You will be getting a quick survey with just 4 simple questions, so we hope you please take the time to do it and give us feedback on the presentations. And then, like we mentioned already, this recording will be available to you guys. It'll be sent out and be put on the website, so you guys can go back and get some more good information. And then lastly, again, this is an awesome opportunity for you guys to continue your college process, to learn more about school. So please continue to sign up for more sessions. And once again, thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you have a good evening.
Thank you.
I think we're done, guys.
Perfect.
Awesome. Bye, guys. You guys did awesome.
Awesome.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you.